Yeah, we're gonna be jumping into the draft here in a second or two. It's not that I dislike, Gwen and Echo and things like that. I am just kind of interested to see how many times you can knock things out, just how many different champions you can pull out. I think we mentioned it on the previous draft about how Belby's ability to pick up more in different champions allows the rest of his team to kind of adapt themselves around him. We are looking for the Shen again, the Hecarim again, the Poppy again. These have been the same bands pretty much so far. The only thing missing would be the Wukong from Divine
Hmm.
Ascension. Rumble, interestingly, I mean, don't want to get baited by the hover, but I feel like if you're gonna hover a ban on a Rumble as a one pick kind of a champion, you definitely get rid of it. And that's interesting because I think this is the first time it's been banned and won't be played
Oh yeah.
tonight. And also the
So
first change in the draft, excuse me.
yeah, our first change of the draft, our first time we will not be seeing this rumble on the map. So we'll probably be looking at some different, potentially different junglers here. We do know that in the first game it was played in a lane. When we saw that Orin get picked up by Divine Ascension Sapphire, the Nocturne will be the last ban for them on the blue side, and the Yorick, that disgusting split pusher who is able to play the game just straight PvE. We will not be seeing him today. So on blue side, once more, Divine Ascension Sapphire, what do you prioritize? First game you got that Rumble on B1, not available here. What do you think is gives you the best chance at winning this game against Hawkthorne Esports? How do you get a 2-1? Let's see.
I want to see Belby pick out a Renekton.
Oh, well, take away the vein from
Different.
from counters and say, well, we play this vein as well, but you destroyed us on this champion last game. Now we get a pick that we are comfortable on, and we take away your best pick at the 80 carry spot.
Yeah, they did leave the Silas up.
Mm-hmm.
That I did mention, and that's interesting because they typically have been banning Nocturne on the second round of bans. Does leave the Kaisa up, of course. This is the first time we've seen her, which is interesting for such a power pick. We've not seen her in any priority so far, bans, picks, or otherwise. I need to check with the rest of the league, but I mean with our matches tonight. I can check what her actual stats are here in a second. But I don't know. I'm feeling a Silas, honestly.
Minus Silas, but you have to pick Silas into a comp that makes Silas a good pick. Right now, okay, now with the Orn, that it does make it a pretty decent pick so far, but you'll get to see a couple more ultimates come on the board for Divine and Sapphire to see if this Silas is actually worth your time. Right now, you have one, but I want to see if there are more to come out here. Now, with this Kaisa pick for Hawkthorne, I like Kaisa. She's fallen down in priority over the past month or so, but I'm not all that loving her with Thresh. There's other champs that enable her better, like the Nautilus as the classic. The Alistair's a good one. So it makes me wonder whether or not this is a pick that Hawkthorne likes, the Thresh Kaisa pairing, or if Maddie Mice is just not as comfortable on these S plus tier synergies with Kaisa, like that Nautilus, like that Alistair. But like you like so much, let me say the word like one more time. The
Okay.
Silas does get picked up for Hawkthorne in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm excited. Quick update: Kaisa is not on their top 10 picks or bans, which is very
Wow.
interesting. She's a power pick, but we're just not seeing her a lot in Light League. Well, I wonder what that is with Silas. Ooh, man, I really, really like Silas. Of course, he's actually one of our highest ban champions. He's got 16 bans, 53 pick ban percentage rate in total. Only thing in any contention with Seraphine, actually, who's got 20 bans so far. So I'm really excited to see this. I do believe, if I double check here, that Heartstruck Brother has actually played the Silas before. Let me see if I can get there in just a second or two. I'm pretty positive he has, but I've got just way too many tabs open to get there so far.
Tab Master is the master of the tabs. I know you will work through it. And we're going to work through the second rounds of bans here. The Garen, which was a champion that didn't do too bad last game, played excellently in lane against that Lee Sin, will get banned out. The Seraphine, like you mentioned, almost 100% presence in these drafts, whether it's picked or banned. Hawkthorne says, you're not getting this girl in the mid lane. It's not happening. And the set and the Malphite are taken away from a guy like Godzilla. These champs that are pretty strong in the top lane. Malphite does have great initiation. Didn't see him use his initiation so much last game, but it is still there. And
Oh,
when you don't ban out the
yeah.
Wukong, the monkey gets to the draft. The monkey gonna get in the draft. He's in the top lane for Godzilla.
Yeah, absolutely. Checking with Hardstruck Brother, he does have one game on the Silas that he unfortunately did lose with okay stats here. Checking in with Godzilla, he has also one game and one loss on Wukong. And I think that was actually the same game that the two of them played the Silas Wukong duo. They lost that game,
One
but they're
hundred
trying to
percent,
run it back here and see what it works.
100% loss rate when Silas and Wukong are on the team together for
Yes, sir.
Hawkthorne Esports.
Yes,
Is that what you're
sir.
saying?
Absolutely.
It's not looking too good for these boys in the red side, I'll tell you that. Now, there is something that I am very interested to see. That is Jax in the top lane here for
Yeah.
my guy Malice. This isn't anywhere near what you call a conventional pick, a meta pick right now. Jax has been, honestly, I don't know how strong he is right now. I've not seen Jax in such a long time. He might still be decent enough, and he probably is still a solid split pushing champion, but I have not seen him really at all this whole season 11. I definitely am looking to see how he plays in this matchup here.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. I also agree. I don't think I've seen him in competitive since like season 9, probably at this point, at least regularly, maybe like a pick or two here. But I've
Yeah.
definitely not seen him in any regularity for a couple of years. Something I've also not seen in a very long time is Shyvana, though it does kind of fit into Arth's play style. You know, he's a very AP heavy, very farm heavy kind of player. So Shyvana fits a bit there, despite not seeing it too much. Really, I'm just very, very surprised that his big picks of Diana and Karthus have not come up tonight whatsoever. I think he had 3 and 2 plays on each respectively. They haven't been banned once. They haven't been picked once. And I'm curious as to why he's kind of switching things up. That'd be an interesting question to kind of hear their comms, hear their, their draft strategy, see if it's kind of a coach difference or things like that. I'm not really certain what would bring that about, but it is still kind of in line with him.
Yeah, when you have the Shyvana, you do want to prioritize getting dragons. So just like in game number one, 4 straight. Game two, they weren't able to get those first 2 dragons. Divine Sense and Sapphire was able to pick those up, was able to have more push in that bot lane. Now I had that Vayne Alistair there. I think that we're going to be seeing Hawkthorne Esports put a lot more resources and a lot more pressure on this bot lane and try to get what this helps out Shyvana with her passive. Now, we kind of glossed over this throughout all these other picks that got picked up, but we are seeing this Ornn once more in the jungle. I don't expect to see a Jax jungle here. We're gonna see this guy pre-made play this Ornn again. Now I definitely am on the lookout to see what's the keystone. Do we run it back with that predator? We'll find out. I don't know what exactly it does, but it does something. It has to do something for him here. But the Syndra, a control mage in this day and age, is back here. What will we see her run for her keystone? I am very, very curious to see this because a guy like Belby plays aggressive champs. He plays Zoes, he plays
Yeah.
Seraphine's, he plays Yone and Gwen. Like I'm kind of surprised to see game three, the quote unquote winner of the series to knock the balance to one side or the other. You go with the control mage here rather than more aggression.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you actually just made. I'm a big fan of control mages, but they have been kind of slowly stepping their way out of the meta. It's a very bizarre pick in general into Silas. I mean, that is I don't really want to say counter pick per se, but that is definitely a self hard pick into a champion like Silas. Cinder is a very, very squishy champion early on. If you do not perfectly line up your QE condemn, scatter the weak, you're really just kind of open to a lot of damage. Of course, Silas loves an ultimate like unstoppable or excuse me, can't pull it out. Syndra's ultimate, unleashed
Power,
power.
yeah.
There we go. I got it. So that is an interesting pick,
Wait,
and you're right that he's a very aggressive player. He plays the Gwens and the Echoes and the Silases, in fact. And you asked about the Keystone. I feel like a couple of weeks ago I would have said Phase Rush, but we've seen that kind of tap down a lot. and I also don't really like Electrocute too much into a Silas, so that's a really good question, actually.
Thinking, yeah, my first thought was electrocute. Maybe we're not gonna see Dark Harvest. I mean, I don't know. Would you ever see a spell book on Syndra? I don't think so. But looking at this Silas pick now with the Syndra, you already had two ultimates that are great. Alistair and Ornn have amazing ultimates to steal for this Silas. And then you throw in Syndra with the unleashed power. I mean, this is just a buffet. This is golden corral for this man. May not be healthy for the game, but it's gonna fill you up with potential kills and setup for your team if you are Hawkthorne Esports, if you are Heartstuck Brother on this Silas. I mean, this is gonna be a pretty tough game for Divine and Sapphire. It's gonna really come down to how this early game pans out and how much pressure we can get in this bot side.
Yeah, well, we've seen a lot of fighting early game. So we can assume that there's a lot of fighting early game, especially since the Premier's been pretty impressive with this Ornn in the early games, which is not something that I really would have expected. I thought it'd be a much slower pick. That being said, though, if we do see counters on the Kaisa and Heartstruck Brothers on the Silas just kind of chill and farm, I think it's going to become really rapidly problematic for Divine Ascension Sapphire. Yeah, I mean, we saw Showmaker with Silas and Alistar Ultimate. So maybe we can see something similar with Heartstruck Brother, but it's this Ornn, man. I'm a believer. You've got me into it. It has 100% win rate so far. I need to check with the stats team because that has probably changed. It's been two games so far across most of the board. But that was a really scary pick. I mean, it really just kind of dominated until basically he got to sit back and let his top and mid take over the game.
100% true, but Hickory, I have a question, more like I must insist upon you doing something for me. A quick favor.
Okay.
In the chat here at Excellency Esports, there's a prediction right now. I need you to go all in on the team you believe in.
Okay.
All in.
I got it. All in. How do I do that?
You have to put in a custom number when you go into it. There's 10-point increments, or you can put a custom value in there. I have gone all in on the blue side team, Divine Ascension Sapphire.
Put 1,700. That's all in on Hawkthorne. I said 2-1 at the top of the day. I'll let you swap. To Divine Ascension for the 2-1, but I'm sticking to my gun. It's still 2-1 Hawkthorne. You can go the other way. I know the Ornn, man. I know. I now you're really kind of like making me think about it. I really do think the Ornn is an interesting pick. We'll have to see. I mean, chat, I want you to vote as well. I want to see what you think. Is it the Ornn? Is it the Silas difference? Is it Hawkthorne 2-1, Divine Ascension 2-1? We're just going to have to find out after the break. Shells, thank you very much for hanging out with me. We're going to kick it to Zephyr and Zunzi after a short break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Excellency Light League. If you're just joining us, we're bringing you the final game of the night here between Divine Ascension Sapphire and Hawkthorne Esports. In Game 1, Divine Ascension Sapphire separate themselves from the pack, show off some incredible picks, and took it toe-to-toe. Hawkthorne, though, comes back just as hard, playing off of some incredible pressure from counters and Arth, and find them 1-1 into this tied series. This last game going to be that breaker. I'm your play-by-play caster, Zephyr, joined once again by the lovely Dunsey as my color.
Thank you so much, man. We started the night off with Predator Smite Ornn in the jungle, and we will cap the night off with the same. We are in Game 3. I got a question for you before we get into any action.
No.
There were 60 kills in Game 1. There were 61 kills in Game 2. I'm going to give you an over-under of 60.5 kills for Game 3. Where are we at, Zephyr? Is it going to be a bloodbath?
All right, so you're asking if it's going to be a bloodbath. Personally, I think this game is going to get absolutely schnutty in terms of kills because you definitely have some hardcore engage available once again, but the absolute damage that is on every single champion. I mean, sorry, don't you put that voodoo on these people right now, Dunsey. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a hefty kill game. I'm gonna say between 50 and 60. It's gonna be
okay. So you're
60.
gonna be under.
Under 60. I'm taking the under.
Over. These guys are gonna go.
Lord.
Nuts. They're gonna go insane with kills this game. It's Game 3. Everything is on the line. Give me the over. We're gonna hit 70.
We're gonna hit 70?
That's what I'm saying.
You're absolutely bonkers.
Well, we're dealing with bonkers teams, Zephyr.
I suppose we are. I think they're just highly competitive, so maybe some more volatile choices definitely appear on the Rift. But, you know, bonkers, that's a choice of words, I'll admit.
Uh-huh. I mean, not only do we get the Ornn jungle for the second time tonight, we also get a level 2 here from Mega Adhesive.
Good hook return from Matty Mice. I think it's going to even out this trade, and of course, that final Silver Bolt proc will definitely take it kind of, you know, back and forth there. And don't come out top. Don't come out on top, Dunsey.
I was gonna say we also get a Shyvana jungle making her way out here. The AP junglers for Arth tonight. I'm hoping it's an AP Shiv. He played Elise and then Rumble, and now hopefully AP Shyvana. Bringing a ton of damage to the team fights. Him and counters have been the two biggest carries for Hawkthorne tonight, and we might see it this game too, man. Shyvana can do a ton of damage.
Yes, I will agree with you on that end of the field. Once she gets to the absolute burst phase where she's got the throbbing E, as I like to call it.
Those flame breaths, yeah.
The flame breaths on the ground and kind of burst it out. I think, yeah, we might see it. But until then, Arth performed very well on the Rumble. I'll give him that. So
yeah,
if he can land the red carpet there, what's to say he can't land this one? It's just circular.
You miss 100% of red carpets that you don't throw out there.
Exactly.
And he just laid them out. I mean, it didn't matter where. As soon as he saw a Garen hop out of a bush, red carpet.
Ooh, brother, back in the mid lane. Once again, going for good return. I do like the scatter of the week there. Definitely evens it out. I think everyone's playing pretty to their wits here into this third and final game. Maybe not quite the bloodbath that you might expect, Dunsey, as I predicted. No, not here we go. Yes, it's a death sentence. I'm telling you, it's not yet. Not yet. Hold the phone. I mean, Matty Mice is looking so low here. That condemn just barely misses. I'm curious what the play was on that one, and that exhaust going to be thrown out onto Wisdom there to dissuade any further pressure. It's a good stun response, and that death sentence just whiffs. Now Heartstuck Brother and Premade both looking equally low as Zilla comes through with the teleport. Going deep here onto Wisdom. Good headbutt onto the back there. As the first blood finds its way over from the Ignite from Matty Mice. Now deep in the mid here. Premade is chained through by Heartstuck Brother. Big flash from Belby. Tries to push him back in the turret, but it's not enough. It's going to be that double for Brother and 3 kills here over the way of Hawkthorne.
I gotta tell you, I have never seen someone try to insect with Syndra. That's what Belby just attempted. That actually was true. Yeah, he tried to use the Scout of the Week to throw Heartstuck Brother into his own turret, which he did. It just wasn't enough. He missed his not Unleash Power. What's his Q called? I can't remember right now. The Dark Sphere, and was unfortunately not able to pick up that kill. And it's 3-0 already here for Hawkthorne. We got to be careful because the side who's gotten the lead early has lost both game and game 1 and game 2. Malice didn't TP in there. He was able to take a plate for himself 5 minutes in. The Jax is scaling, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at
He's
Zilla.
up 40-16.
I was about to say, that is an absurd control of the wave pressure there. I, to be honest, thought Zilla had a lot more going for him, as he was definitely looking competitive, taking the more advantageous, or, God, that's not a word. He was taking the more advantageous trades here into Malice, but Malice apparently was keeping his toes about himself, picking up most of the CS there.
Yeah, I mean, early power for Jax. He has a boots and a longsword on top of Godzilla's Sheen. They both have the Sheen available right now, so he's gonna look for those trades. He wants to utilize all 3 of his corrupting pots and just consistently take these skirmishes with Godzilla and slowly whittle him down. We'll see if he can abuse that power spike that he has available to him right now in lane, especially because Arth is only level 5. He's not a great ganking jungler, so Malice can play a little bit aggressively here.
Yes, he can if he wants to, but that being said, I think the Cyclone is enough to dissuade kind of any hard engage. He definitely goes in, gets the chunk back as pre-made was available, but they don't quite find it as Arth.
Shyvana 6.
He does. Oh, that descent! The burst comes through, counter strike to stack it up. Bellow's breath doesn't land into the clap, and Malice goes down here, and now pre-made in the face of quite the whiff here from Hawkthorne also finds his way onto death.
That was disaster for Divine Ascension Sapphire. I mean, Arth with his ultimate completely. The Dragon's Descent was thrown into a wall, but here we go. Malice going in 2v1.
He's not done. Still can't find the kill, apparently, as the response flings back there. Saw a little bit of engage. Bot side. I don't think anyone finds the kills, but Belby with the Unleashed Power actually into that chained engage from Hardstuck Brother finds the first response here from Divine Ascension Sapphire.
Okay, we're at 6 kills. I need the pace to come up a little bit here, guys.
It's
I
under.
need Zephyr's play-by-play to be tested. Let's go. But here I mean, man, already you see lane differences. Here comes a Hex Flash from Mega Adhesive going in.
Quite fine. Oh.
Yeah, nothing there quite yet. But
How
Divine
many
Ascension,
whiffs can we have in one game?
dude.
Sorry.
I'm bringing back that memory of counters rocket jumping in and literally Call of the Forge God, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and Death Sentence all whiff simultaneously right past the Tristana. We've seen, you know what, but these guys are not afraid to go in. Here comes another engage.
Adhesive getting the double knockup. Good exhaust response onto Cryptic Wisdom. Started out. Arth is on back end here. Let's see if the Dragon's Descent this time lands out. Starts it up. Finds it into the wall again, but I think he's going to be fine as Hardstuck Brother is able to come in from Tribush to secure that kill on the Adhesive.
Yeah, the Death Sentence barely going wide, and unfortunately for Pre-Made, he tried to knock up Hardstuck Brother as he was coming in because he had the vision on the pink ward for him, but he missed his knockup even. So it's going to be a kill for the side of Hawkthorne here, going on to Mega Adhesive. He was fishing for those engages but couldn't find it.
Malice pretty deep into the wave here, gets that counter strike with a Cyclone, going to pump him back. That wave doing a huge chunk of damage there. Not a really big reason to dive onto that one, I would say.
Yeah, minions hurt. I mean, like, Counter-Strike is down. They're going to do a lot of damage to you. You don't have teleport. He's going to lose a ton of creeps here. A ton. He had this massive lead because he saved his teleport, and now he just lost everything.
At least Pre-Made's able to stem onto the back here and pick most of it up, or at least a portion. So it's not a completely wasted gold on the top side here, but it's enough to dissuade some of the pressure we've seen thus far here from Malice. And honestly, Zilla, for being in a poor place that he was, is still taking the aggressive lead here in this lane.
Yeah, I like this lead showing up here. I mean, you see it in Belby as well. He's got a 20 CS lead in the mid lane. Both sitting on lost chapters for now, but Heartslake Brother has been the one who's been able to roam early. Here comes a second Drake, though. Malice isn't going to let Godzilla base so that he can help his team. Wants to make sure he keeps him stuck in the top lane with him, but Drake has been started. I think this is going to be the Dragon start for Hawkthorne. But, man, I'm just reminded of Game 1 and Game 2. The team with the lead, the team that stacked Dragons has lost.
You sound like some occultist shaman over on the side going, the predictions, the numbers, they don't lie.
I mean, I am infected with Shell's mentality right now. The numbers have not lied yet, but someone's going to lie tonight because Ornn is on the side that is losing the draft. Oh, you know what? Actually, no, the numbers are going to stay the same. It has to be an Ornn win, right? Yeah, because they're the ones who are losing right now. Put your VD, put all your money right now on Divine Ascension Sapphire.
This is not how analysis works. I know this is your first time casting as a color.
Oh yeah.
But it's not quite how you reasonably associate which team's gonna win. But hey, 100% Ornn win rate tonight. I guess that's just what's gotta be. Double knockup in the bot lane start up. Arth comes through with the Dragon set. Crystal Wisdom looking low. Big killer instinct to finish off that kill. Arth picks it up now. The rest of the team stems forward as the Cyclone knocks up both entities. The reactivation onto Premade's gonna get the kill there as Zilla doesn't make it out from his dive on turret. But either way, 3 kills all in favor of Hawkthorne.
Poor Premade. He whiffed Call of the Forge God, and then he whiffed his knockup as well. Just a disastrous team fight for him. He could have turned that with the ultimate. Instead, a huge Cyclone coming out from Godzilla, and counters, and Maddie Mice, and Arth.
These are names.
Yeah, diving in under this turret are able to take advantage. I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out, because Heartslake Brother's been all over the place, but he wasn't part of that fight, right? The other 3 members of Hawkthorne were able to take advantage of that dive, and they're playing extremely well right now. Malice, hopefully he can garner a lead because his laner's been out of his own lane for so long this game. It's gonna be on him, really. The burden are on his shoulders this game. It's Top's burden.
Maybe on top, when Arth is on the response, man. He's always in this lane here early. Came through on the level 2-3, and he's already back here on the 9. And big dive there from Zilla once again. He's gonna have to step away from turret there. They don't quite want to go that deep.
Yeah, I mean, Arth can stick around. He doesn't have ultimate available anymore, so he'll just take some scuttle, maybe invade a little bit, even start up the objective Herald there for himself. This map control belongs entirely to Hawkthorne right now. They're able to take basically whatever they want across the entire map.
Absolutely, and speaking of which, they make their way to bot lane, utilizing the pressure from Hard stuck on the side here. They possibly might crash this wave even further, but they did steal what was the Unbreakable Will here from Mega Adhesive in case they want to go for something super aggressive and take most of his turrets. Yeah.
But the thing is, Malice does have teleport available.
Oh, big flash from Maddie Mice. Knock up to start things off. The bolts are stacking up. They're able to find Adhesive. Now they look for Wisdom. Either way, he's able to kite for a bit, but he does go down to the hands there of Heartstuck Brother. On the top side, though, we do see a good response from Divine Ascension Sapphire. They're able to pick up Zilla. I'm curious where they can stem the gold there. I don't think they pick up first turret, though.
Dude, Unbreakable Will is so broken on Silas. Call the Forge God, though.
Arth with a good dodge. Big flash. Scout of the Week doesn't hit either. So Arth's able to walk out, and like I said, first turret finds itself the way over here of Hawkthorne. Teleport coming through, but I think it doesn't actually make its way out, so that's a big chunk of a waste there from Hardstuck Brother.
Yeah, Hardstuck Brother is not afraid of anything. Counters is not afraid of anything. That's the theme of Hawkthorne Esports. They are just absolute blood seekers. A bunch of Warwicks on this team who want to just fight nonstop. I don't even think that TP would have been favorable for Hardstuck Brother in this instance. He was going to TP into 3. He saw a couple of low health bars, but luckily for him, Divine Ascension actually take the turret.
Maybe they should have let the turret stay.
Yeah, like, I think that would have been a kill if they could stack.
That'd be
the
so
CC.
BM. You stop attacking the turret just so Hardstuck can come in, and then you just obliterate him. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a free 300 to pocket there. Actually, it wouldn't be 300, it'd be the bounty stack, so a 450. Ooh, Arth on the side, immediately gonna start this one. Good hijack with ball on the side. Doesn't quite find the knockups, but still they're able to pick up both Wisdom and Premade here on the side. So Hawkthorne, they're able to pick up the double kill, and now 20 seconds away from the next Drake. Going to be easily making their way over to Soul, most likely. Soul
yeah, we see Soul Point here coming out, but Malice, nice ward hop there. He's going to be able to get out. They cannot contest this. Their jungler is dead. Divine Ascension needs to find somewhere else to farm up, go in the top lane, go in the mid lane. Do not take this team fight. You're 2v3.
2v3, absolutely, but no hook to really secure any kind of trade there for either which way. And at this point, you got Arth already starting up the Dragon Take here, so the job was accomplished. You got the 2 kills. Wisdom, Premade both went down, and you pull off what is next onto Soul Point here. Hawkthorne's looking good this game. It does not ring true to anything we've seen thus far tonight.
Yeah, they had a massive lead in gold, massive gold lead in game 1 as well. But this time they look a lot more firm in their convictions. Divine Ascension Sapphire can't make anything happen, and whenever they do make a play, they are always countered by the TP of Godzilla, by Arth being there for a counter gank. Hawkthorne are playing very, very well as 5 right now all over the map, and Divine Ascension Sapphire don't really have a response.
A good flash from counters there onto the back, and the burn damage from Arth is enough to just rip through these health bars, and you have the rest of the team now stepping up to keep it going. The Unbreakable World's not going to do much for you there. That's going to be all 3 members of Divine Ascension Sapphire in that bot lane taken out. You do have the response from Belby as he steps into it, but Arth's around the back end here to chunk him down to half. It's a good scour of the week, but it finds its way into a death sentence, which is another death here.
Yeah, who was there, right, to nullify that engage from Divine Ascension? It was Arth once again. He knew exactly what was going on. Counters and Matty Mice baited that perfectly for their Dragon's Descent ultimate to fly in there. There's no walls to stop him this time. It's just an open lane, and he's able to pick that up. 18-3 in what was an incredibly competitive first 2 games. Hawkthorne have turned the series on its head and are possibly going to reverse sweep Divine Ascension Sapphire here tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, it proves into their recent stats and how they've kind of set themselves apart towards the top end. I know we all rated them what was 2nd or 3rd into our pre-show there. I think only Shells was the only individual who put him 3rd, but either way, you know, this is the team that deserves to be in 2nd place. This kind of team, one that doesn't take those risks, secures the appropriate dives, and cleans up when necessary. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a much different Hawkthorne like you put out there.
And I want to put it out there, man. I told him I wasn't going to give him credit, but I'm going to give you credit, Hickory. The big brain had Divine Ascension at number 3 power ranked this week. We weren't going to give him credit because he was actually too smart after game 1, but now Hawkthorne have come back. Yeah, there you go, Hickory.
Now that Divine has lost or are looking much, much worse, there you go. There you go, Hickory. Take your crumbs.
Yeah. I mean, the pathway back right now for Divine Ascension Sapphire is they have incredible scaling, right? They're the one with the Vayne team. They're the one with a Jax and a side lane, which can completely abuse anyone on the side of Hawkthorne if he can get the requisite items, right? So they need time. Right now, time is not on their side because in 2 minutes, the Mountain Soul is going to go over to Hawkthorne if you cannot contest it.
Absolutely. And at that point, you stem a lot of protection out here for Hawkthorne, and most of the damage that we've seen thus far from Sapphire really just isn't landing. I mean, this team looks like a wash into this game. You got Brother, hard engage here on the Malice, and while he doesn't find the slow when he needs to on the Everfrost, he's able to take Malice so far down.
And he has Unbreakable Will and a friend TPing in to help him. Like,
hey, Zilla.
Yeah, Hawkthorne just always have each other's backs, always looking to support one another in these team fights. They are all over the map, man.
At this point, they've got Zilla Brother pushing it out on the top side, more than guaranteed. Big flash from Belby to lead towards nothing. Counters easily, cleans it up there. Doesn't matter they threw up the Unleashed Power. Now Arth steps up, Wisdom chunked to half. Matty Mice coming around from the back end of the turret to tank it out as they find the double. Response on the top side, another kill that way. Malice the only one left through and through. Death sentence, leap doesn't even matter. Matty steps up, chases this man away, and it's mostly a success here for Hawthorne across the board.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take this Drake in 45 seconds. Respawn timers will allow Divine Ascension Sapphire to make an attempt, but that might be the last chance that they have this game. They have to fight for the Mountain Soul. It's 20 minutes in, and you're going to give up massive defensive stats to Wukong, to a Shyvana, to a Thresh. I mean, it's going to be too tough to come back here. I know they have the scaling, but right now they are too far down. It's 12K. Looking for a small pick here to possibly start it off.
Malice gets a good double stun with the counter strike onto both the Shout and the clone here for Zilla. Spotted out. Oh, that Scout of the Week just isn't quite close enough. They throw out the lantern here from Matty Mice, and he's out. He's out. Beautiful. I love you, Mr. Mice.
Yeah, and this, I mean, nothing has worked, and they're going to walk into a trap.
Right, counters and Arth ready on the response. You see that Dragon's Descent Wisdom pre-made low. They are able to walk out of it, but that has completely negated any and all pressure you have towards this final dragon here. So, soul secured for Hawkthorne.
Yeah, Mountain Soul, big Drake. I mean, we've seen amazing souls this series so far. Glad to see a Mountain Soul just add to the beefiness of Hawkthorne right now. I'm going to have a question. I'm going to have to interrogate Shells after this game and see what he thinks about the Ornn, because he was very bullish about that sample size being great. What's going on, man?
I know. Shells,
Zephyr has no words for Shells even. I think we might have lost the text in here for a little bit, but we do see Divine Ascension trying to make their way to the bot lane. It's going to be a Baron possibly picked up instead for the side of Hawkthorne. They're hovering it, they're pinging it. This is going to be the thing that breaks the camel's back. They want to make sure that they're able to secure this and push with this Baron. Hi, Hickory, going to join us?
Yeah, I am, because it is looking pretty close here. Not very so much. I mean, I've been watching the game. I really did have Divine Ascension as third place here, and you know, Hawkthorne of course in the second, but this is a bit more of a shellacking than I was really expecting. You know, the first two games were a bit of the fiesta. Here we go with counters, picking up yet another kill onto Belby. It's 2-4 for him so far. 23-3 is the game score. You know, you've already brought us in with the Baron and the Mountain Soul. I mean, it's looking pretty rough here, and we're going to clean things out, I feel like, here pretty soon. I do want to mention that the 21-minute and 15-second record that Hawthorne Esports posted last week is still standing, though.
Thank goodness they're not going to be embarrassed by their own record. Oh, you know, Hawkthorne, yeah, they can't break their own record right now. Divine Ascension won't go that far low. But this could be the last stand, man. Hawkthorne have blood in their eyes. They are a thorough team, and they're going to make sure that they take this here.
Yeah, here comes probably the last fight that Divine Ascension can post up, but actually Hawkthorne's not really going to give it to him, but here comes Arth right into everyone. Belby's gone low, Cryptic gone low. Oranhorn will hit a few, so was Scout of the Week, but the damage really isn't there. 15,000 gold is the difference. The double kill there for counters. Can he get the triple? He does indeed. Can he get the quadra? He's looking for it. He goes down. He does, and oh, just barely. He gets the quadra, he gets the triple, excuse me, at the very end there. Harkster Brother will not go down. 28-4 is the final score, and that Silas that I was banging on is 6-1-3, but you know that 1-6-1 Orange Shells, we might have to talk about that, buddy.
Yeah. We're going to have to throw it over to Shells. I want to hear the defense here.
Yeah.
What's going on from the numbers, man? We'll throw it to you two on the desk.
Yeah. Let's see what the idea is. Shells, are you here, brother? Do you have some defense here for your big goat guy?
Just like I am breaking my 100% mute rate coming to the desk after a game, it looks like the numbers have broken their 100% reliability rate by coming through here and disallowing Ornn. I guess the Ornn pick was too strong. I guess the Ornn just was not it wasn't in favor. You know how Riot sometimes likes to have some champs that you gotta buff them up sometimes, let them back in the meta, like Rise every time it's a big event. It just seems like the league gods of Runeterra just did not want Ornn to have the kind of proper win and the proper kind of respect it deserves in this league. Now, I had questions about the Keystone. Why did we run? Why do we run Predator? Not sure at all. I had questions about literally every other part of this draft for Divine Ascension Sapphire, but I gotta give it to Hawkthorne Esports. They played very well, played their comp very well. You ran the play. Hawkthorne Esports ran the play that I think every team should. Force your opponents to counterpick into you, and then you just do what your champs do against those picks that you're so strong against.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were kind of talking about it that the first two games were, kind of back and forth, maybe not really planning out what either team wanted to do properly. Whereas the third game here was very clearly, Hawkthorne had something in mind. Divine Ascension was trying to kind of push back. But I think now we really get to see why a lot of us, and I think Zephyr might have mentioned this before he had to go, that a lot of us here on the broadcast put Hawkthorne pretty comfortably in that 2 position. And Dunsey did shout it out. I did have Divine Ascension as number 3, and they took a pretty solid win versus Hawkthorne here. Now, of course, it is still a little bit up in the air, but point being that this final game is really what we were feeling from Hawkthorne. You mentioned it. They had a really good draft. They kind of forced Divine Ascension into some kind of rough situations. I'm going to check here who we are interviewing to see if we are going to get one to close out our night and kind of learn a little bit from the player's perspective and kind of see what they were thinking. Yeah, I mean, Dunsey, or excuse me, sorry, Shellatron. I'm reading Dunsey in my face. Is there any kind of like questions that you would have going into week 4 for either of these teams?
Yeah, a big question for me for but I mean, honestly, both these teams in game 1 and 2, I think the team that honestly deserved or was in the best position to win actually did not win that game. I think both teams had a game each in the first 2 games of this series where they might have a little bit blown their advantageous position. There it is for you right there, my guy Zephyr. But there were times when the game looked won until it wasn't. So I want to see if both these teams moving forward have a little bit crisper shot calling into and parlaying their advantages into wins. And also, will Divine Ascension see this loss after these kind of, let's call them wacky or inauspicious kind of picks here? Will they go more meta? Will they go more into these picks that are more conventional, or will we see them continue to pull out the orange, pull out the fizzes and the Master Yi's and the Garen's top? I want to see how the shot calling works and if these drafts still are going to stay the same as we have seen them over the past 3 weeks.
It's only week 3. We still have some growing to do from these teams. Shelton, thank you very much for hanging out with me on the desk. I think we are going to hear from Godzilla, a.k.a. Zilla, the top laner for Hawkthorne. Dunsey's going to give us a bit of an interview, close out the night. Thank you all very much. I hope you have a good evening and enjoy the rest of the broadcast and mid-league tomorrow and heavy league on Thursday.